Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again, and welcome to the full week of videos. And yeah, it's definitely a little backed up, but I will do my best to get them out each day. Where today I'm gonna share my review for this past week's Ring of Honor, SmackDown, and Rampage. So shouldn't be too long this video, hopefully. And then I'll talk about what's going on for the rest of the week. As we start off the review with Ring of Honor Wrestling, and we start with a trios match as Dalton Castle and the boys take on the Dark Order. And the Dark Order just got a little bit darker. They definitely take shortcuts along the way, including some low blows, which... yeah, it's definitely good to see a more of an edge to the Dark Order, because them as baby faces hasn't really worked for me. But overall, yeah, this was a fun matchup. Dark Order used their pendulum slam, whatever it is. I don't know what to call that, so I'm just going to call it the Darkness Falls, because it fits, to pick up the victory. And then we get a backstage interview with Athena and Billy Starks. And they're talking about their recent history, not only their matches, but Athena saving Starks from the Renegades. So, to kind of ease the tension, Athena brought t-shirts for the group, gave the interviewer a #1 best t-shirt, while Billy Starks got minion number 8,953.5, which I thought was funny. And then Athena issues the challenge to the Renegades, which we'll be seeing in a little bit. But next up, we got Kyria Hogan against Lady Frost. This match was interesting. Not a ton to it. And after a cannonball and then a neck breaker, your winner, Kyrie Hogan. So, hopefully that means we're getting Hogan versus Athena sometime soon again. But overall, yeah, kind of a nothing match. This next match definitely stepped it up a little bit, as it's Matt Sydal, fresh off of his Juniors Festival tournament showing in Japan, taking on Serpentico out there alone. No other Spanish announced project members ringside, and honestly, it was definitely a very well paced match, although it did go a little short for my tastes. But after a kick and then a Falcon Arrow, your winner, Matt Sydal. We then go into a Stokely Hathaway interview, pretty much going over how he and Joe proved they were a cohesive unit last week. They had a tag team match last week, which was pretty fun. And then Stokely pretty much says, yeah, I respect Samoa Joe now. We're all on the same page. And then the interviewer pretty much says, well, no one respects you. And then just gives Stokely the mic and walks off. Which, that was savage. Poor Stokely, I love the man. We then get a pretty interesting match, a battle of the Laylas, as Layla Hirsch takes on Layla Gray. And what was a pretty decent little match, although it was more showcase for Layla Hirsch, including Maria Kanellis Bennett recruiting on the stage. Apparently, she wants to build the kingdom into an army, which, yeah, that sounds cool. Hopefully that bleeds into the AEW stuff the kingdom are getting into. Don't worry, I'll save that for my AEW All-In review. Yep, but after an armbreaker tap out, your winner, Layla Hirsch. Then we get a backstage interview with the Embassy. pretty much calling their future opponents, which is it's pretty much the same combination of little guys. Pretty much take turns pretty much saying, really? You want this smoke again? Well, the outcome will be this. Your partners may change, but the outcome will stay the same. We'll leave you behind and still be champs. Which, nice short and sweet little promo and nice hype up for an upcoming title match. This next match, definitely an unexpected banger, as Brandon Cutler, that's right, the, what do I call him? The assistant to the Elite, takes on Blake Christian. And while there were some comedy spots on this, it was a pretty darn good showcase for Brandon Cutler, including doing the Superman pin Colt Cabana usually does, which I miss seeing Colt Cabana wrestle. And then after a blocked suplex, a 619, and a 450 splash, your winner, Blake Christian. We then get an interview from Tony Nese, where he pretty much says, look, Jerry Lynn, I had a verbal agreement with you that I'd continue my group training out in the crowd. I didn't want to have a match last week. And I'd like to see someone. I would like to continue this, but I would like to see ROH find someone to stop me. Which, I'm glad they're getting Tony Nese something other than, big strong dude. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Next up, we got a little tag team match playa, as Athena and Billy Starks takes on the Renegades. And honestly, this was a dang good matchup. And at points, we see Athena using Billy Starks as a weapon, which I'm always good for seeing stuff like that. A couple of roll-ups. Athena does try for the O-face, but that gets countered into a spear. Eventually she does hit the O-face, but then Starks tags in while she's out on the top rope. Starks with a big old swanton bomb. And your winners, Billy Starks and Athena. And of course, Athena post-match is a little pissed at Billy. She's got him, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you thinking? This was my match to win. And Billy's like, whoa, okay. Hey, look, we won the match. Let's get this done, okay? And then Athena brings one of the Renegades back in. It looks like she's about to have Billy Starks smash, I want to say it was Robin, into the title. But Charlotte makes the save. So, yeah, we'll see about that. We then get Hunk Appreciation Night, in which the Hollywood Hunk, Ryan Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler's little bro, comes out, pretty much berates the crowd, and he calls out a challenger for the locker room, including a world champion. Out comes Claudio Castagnoli, who then just pretty much beats down Mr. Nemeth with a big swing, a European uppercut for the victory. Honestly, fun little squash match. Nice way to build Claudio up for Stadium Stampede. And don't worry, we'll get to that. And finalamo, our main event for Ring of Honor. And it's for the New Japan television title, as Christopher Daniels takes on Zack Sabre Jr. I think this match was a pretty much a Matt classic. Definitely some good back and forth between the two competitors. But ultimately, after a oblique stretch, which is very interesting, including tying up the arms, your winner by submission, still New Japan TV champion, Zack Sabre Jr. And honestly, I'm going to give that my must-watch seal of approval. That was a damn good match. So, overall, Ring of Honor, definitely very entertaining, and definitely something I needed after this week. In which we're going to get to now with my SmackDown review. We start off with a good old 10-bell salute for Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. And then we got the Bray Wyatt tribute video showing his good matches, some backstage stuff, all to the tune of a somber "He's Got the Whole World." Oh, I'm gonna cry again. I really am gonna cry again. We then get some tweets from those looking to pay tribute to Terry Funk, which was very nice. We'll get to Terry Funk in a little bit, but our first matchup, I don't believe it's for the United States title because Rey Mysterio did not have the title with him. We got Rey Mysterio versus Grayson Waller in what was a decent little matchup. Nothing too super crazy. Although about midway point, Austin Theory comes out. Looks like he's going to distract Rey Mysterio. But then Santos Escobar comes out and jumps Theory. Although Theory gets out of that. And he goes back up the ramp. Grayson Waller looks for the stunner. Misses. Gets hit by a 619. And a big old splash for the Rey Mysterio win. And yeah, that was a dang good matchup. And apparently we're getting Austin Theory Rey Mysterio 2 at Payback. Which, yeah, I feel nothing about that. Sorry. We then get a little look back at the formation of the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt's first real gimmick change after he joined the Nexus, which, actually, come to think of it, they didn't mention the Nexus. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, man, seeing those promos again. Like, I loved those. They were so stylized and cool and creepy. If you haven't seen them, go find them. Those were awesome. Next up, we got a Damage Control interview in which the interviewer gets kind of chewed out by Bayley, calling her biased with Zelina Vega. Then Bayley calls Io a decorated competitor. And it's Io's era, which, that's pretty cool. We then get a video look back at the debut of The Fiend, which, honestly, another really cool character from the mind of Bray Wyatt. And honestly, again, something to look out for. We then get the WWE Women's title on the line as Io Sky takes on Zelina Vega. And honestly, this was definitely a bit more of a match than I thought it would be. Vega hasn't really been given a ton of time in these matches, but for tonight, she and Io, I wouldn't say tore the house down, but they did really, really good together. A lot of good near falls. But ultimately, after the moonsault, your winner, Io Sky. Still the champ. We then get the Cody Rhodes tribute to Terry Funk, in which he tells a story about him and his dad in an airport walking around, and someone called his dad an egg-sucking dog. And initially, Cody didn't see who said those words, and he wanted some comeuppance. And who would it be to say those words? Of course, it's Terry Funk. And he pretty much called Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt cowboys in the best of ways. Terry, constant in wrestling for 50 years, constantly changing. And Terry Funk did it everywhere he went. We then get a little look back at Terry Funk's career, which was very nice. And Cody then announced that this next match will be a Terry Funk hardcore match. And it's the Brawling Brutes taking on the Street Profits. And let me tell you, there wasn't much hardcore in this hardcore match. I don't know if it was because where they were was a little limited. But, yeah, we got one table spot. That's about it. At one point during the match, Bobby Lashley does come in. He gets pushed around a little bit by Butch, who eats a heck of a spear. And then, Street Profits hit the Revolution through the table for the victory. We then get a nice little look at the debut of the Firefly Funhouse, which I remember that Raw after WrestleMania. Boy, that was that creepy, and I loved it. And next up, we got a little promo before our main event from, of course, L.A. Knight, yeah, in which he paid tribute to Bray Wyatt, calling Bray Wyatt his greatest foe, but also his greatest helper, saying that we were not the best of friends, but thank you, Bray. And I feel his spirit here tonight, as should all of you. Now, Miz, you went to TMZ to complain about me using the same old tired lines you've been using since I got up here. But a wise man once gave me some sage advice. Next time you see me, run. Which, honestly, I have not been the greatest LA Knight fan. I think that turned me into an LA Knight fan. I think he made a fan with that promo, which then rolls right into our main event of the evening, LA Knight taking on Finn Balor. That's right, we got some Raw stars in the house tonight. Also, I completely forgot. Someone who's not even with the WWE showed up. The surviving member of the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan, was in house. Which, big ups to you, Big Red. This main event was kind of basic. Not really a lot to go through. Finn Balor went for the coup de grace a couple times. That got missed. LA Knight with a big old superplex right into the BFT for the victory. And that's not where the show ends, as all the lights go out, kind of Fiend style when he would make his entrance. Smoke is going, and then you see it. Bray Wyatt's lantern right in the corner of the ring. Rest in peace, brother. We're gonna miss ya. You know what? It's not fair to rate any of these matches or this show. It was a very nice tribute to a legend and to a man who got taken from us way too soon. Then to find Alamo, we got AEW Rampage, baby. And I know not a lot of people watch Rampage, but this episode was pretty darn good. as we start off with the international title on the line as Orange Cassidy takes on Aaron Solo. I'd call this a pretty basic match. Nothing really special, although we get Harley Cameron trying to interfere at times, including just talking on the microphone, which that was odd. But ultimately, after an orange punch and a beach break, your winner, Orange Cassidy. And we'll talk about Cassidy's match at All In a little bit. Well, Wednesday, probably. Next up, we get a QT Marshall sit-down interview with good old JR. Pretty much says, JR, I don't think I get enough respect around here. I have an international title, and yet I don't have any figures. I am not asked for signings. Well, tonight, I start getting some respect here in AEW, and I'm going to defend my title wherever. So, nice little promo by QT Marshall, which then leads to the AAA Latin American title match as QT Marshall takes on Gravity. And what was definitely a pretty fun, entertaining little match. You got the ground and pound from QT, the high flying from Gravity, in which, dang, Gravity's good. But then after a small drop, a super diamond cutter from the top, and a power bomb, your winner, still Latin American champion, QT Marshall. We then get a Dark Order vignette, pretty much thanking the Righteous for bringing out what we've been missing for all these years, and for having us step up. Next up, squash match featuring Luchasaurus and Ren Jones. Big easy match. Big old Ren Jones starts to fight off a little bit at first, but then an uppercut, big boot, choke slam, clothesline. Your winner, Luchasaurus. And what was... I don't mind a squash match every now and again. And to build up Luchasaurus for his match with Darby Allin coming all out, should be a good one. We then get a look at the Adam Cole MJF situation for All In. And finally, we come to our main event of the evening, as the Outcasts, that's Toni Storm and Saraya, take on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Hikaru Shida. And the match starts with all four in the ring, just brawling their heads off. Then Saraya and Baker get in the ring. They start hammering each other with good old back and forth moves. Then about mid-match, ref gets distracted. Ruby Soho comes out and just attacks Britt Baker. Then down comes Chris Statlander, who pretty much decks Ruby Soho and pretty much shoulders her to the back, which that was pretty funny. After a double powerbomb, we get a 2 count. Yeah, so it seems like the Outcasts have adopted the Shield powerbomb for their finisher, which, yeah, I'm okay with. Saraya gets the spray can, sprays it in the face of Shida, who eats a super kick and a nightcap for the Outcasts' victory. And honestly, Rampage was a pretty good show. Not bad for a pre-tape before the big one at All In. So, yeah, pretty entertaining show. Definitely give it a thumbs up. Now, that review is over. Here's my plan going forward. Tomorrow, I'm going to cover both nights of NWA 75, so look out for that one. And then Wednesday, I'm going to cover All In and Impact in Resurgence, which should be a fun show. Thursday will be my predictions for a pretty busy wrestling weekend. As Saturday, we have Payback from the WWE. And then on Sunday, we get AEW All Out. Right, that's right. All In, All Out, double weekend spectacular. Should be a fun one. Then, of course, on Friday, I'm going to give you my review for, Raw. Power, if it's on, I think they're going to be on a little bit of a hiatus after 75. AEW Dynamite, Impact, and MLW Fusion, which should be a great couple of shows. Obviously, Saturday's Payback. Sunday during the day, I will try to get you my review for ROH, SmackDown, and Rampage. And, that should be it. Then next Monday, probably going to cover Payback and All Out. So, stay tuned for that. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I sure as heck did. And happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.